Hi, Vin Ebenau here with the Shore Sports Network, here with head coach Bill Furlong at Manchester Township. Coach, I know you had a little bit of another down year last year, and then you lost guys like Jerry Ward and Jalen Glenn. How are you working to transition to take that next step forward toward a winning season or make improvements overall?
Well, I think you make a good point. Jerry and Jalen were both, in my opinion, outstanding players, I'm hoping now that what's been in place for 4 years means we've been developing guys that are not maybe on anyone's radar yet, but we are happy with their progress, and they got to step up and be that. And we're pleased. We think that we might have a couple guys that you might talk about next year, but it still remains to be seen. But I think that it's going to have to be more of a group, like offense by committee type of a concept than Jalen or Jerry.
Losing a guy like Jalen, that leaves some big shoes to fill. Has anybody stepped up so far to take those steps in the running game?
Well, I would say that we have like a few guys. Like Jalen. The thing about Jalen, he was good on the outside, he was good on the inside. He could block, he could catch passes. I think we got some good inside runners. Markel, Devin have shown that. We have a transfer, Travell Nicky, that I think has shown signs in practice of it. He could be that. On the outside, we have Jalen's brother Josh, who's been very effective so far in scrimmages. We have Devin. We have Travell. We have some other guys coming onto the scene, like Julius Barreto, who will be a sophomore. Zakeem Jenkins, who didn't play last year but is showing he could be an outside threat. And along with being a receiver, like each of those guys can catch a little bit too. Some of them will be catching out of the backfield and some of them will split out. So yes, it may take us 3 or 4 guys to kind of replace what Jalen offered us, but I think we are on track to do it with the committee.
What would you say the X factor is, or who is, for this Manchester team to succeed in 2018?
Well, I would not want to put it on any one person. I think the X factor is, are we developing consistency? As an offensive line, or we don't maybe have one standout lineman, but we've got to do a better job as an entire offensive line. Same quarterback. We have Jimmy Johns and Joey Carchetta battling it out. We have 2 freshmen, Anthony Pirelli and Savon Myers, that are really developing quickly. I wouldn't want to put, they'll be freshmen or juniors. I wouldn't want to put on any of them to take that role, but I think that between those backs, that quarterback, at receiver, we have Trevor Pruitt returning. We have Mikey Conger, who's new, Will Soul, who will be a sophomore, or he'll be a junior. He was a sophomore last year, that are, we just have to develop a level of consistency to make you defend all of our players.
Who are the starters that are going to make Manchester an impactful team in 2018? Some of the guys that are going to help turn this team around.
Well, I think the guys that I feel most comfortable, Eric Cowan will probably start both ways as a D lineman and a tight end. Andrew Dodd, he played linebacker last year. We're looking at him potentially on the line on defense and as an offensive lineman. John Mayer was a 2-way starter. Markel Horgan was a 2-way starter. Devin Zamat was a 2-way starter. And then we have a couple guys. Jalen Douglas was a 1-way starter last year. Most likely we're going to need him both ways. So, I'd say between Devin, Markel, Andrew Dodd, and Eric, probably a lot of it falls on their shoulders. But I do think we have other guys on the periphery that will step up.
With all the division realignments and teams moving from division to division here, you got some new teams on the schedule this year and some teams you won't be playing anymore. Has that changed your approach towards the season with some new teams coming in and some teams you're not playing anymore?
Not so much now. We're still just putting in our stuff, and even looking at them, out of those new teams, a few of them have a new head coach, so it's not even like you could look at Point Beach, what they did, or Keyport, because it's new. So there will be a lot of new. We're going to have to really be sound in what we do, because there'll be new looks on the defense. Same when we're on defense. We're going to have to just be sound in our base stuff going in, and I think as the year progresses, that will change to adjusting to who we play.
With the talent you have on the roster, how far can this Manchester team go in 2018? How good of a team can this team be?
I think the alignment, works for us. It was probably designed for teams like us that have not had success where we were. And so this is a look at maybe seeing if we can level that playing field. So, I mean, my hope is that we'll do a little bit better, right? Could we make the playoffs? I think we have the ability as far as the talent. Can we put the consistency on the field? That will be the thing. So, you know, I think, you know, the potential is there to potentially push for a playoff bid, have a winning season. You know, the things that we've been pushing to do.
Coach, thanks for the time. Good luck.
Thank you.